I would watch for Barron, because here's the thing. There's also another book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey.
I can wear her skin over mine.
Why on earth would Hillary Clinton be interested in Gilgamesh?
Gilgamesh, he was a giant. He was half god, half man. He was on a quest for immortality.
What if the insane asylums from the 1800s weren't built for insane people at all? Think about it. People always say, if there was a reset, wouldn't everyone have known? But what if the people who did know were labeled insane?
Watch this absolute clown show. K9 Dog is locked in, nose going absolutely crazy, following Cole Allen through the doorway like he just smelled a fireworks factory mixed with pure incompetence.
This person approached Judy Resnick and attempted to politely engage with her regarding the Challenger shuttlecraft mission.
Hey, Judy?
How they gonna tell us that we can't live in Antarctica, yet Antarctica is the size of 2 United States, bro? That Antarctica that y'all see on the globe is not real, bro. I put this on my soul. That's not how Antarctica look, bro. It's not. That bottom, bro, it's not how it look. And the earth is getting hotter and hotter. The sun is getting closer and closer. Antarctica, I know, is melting. The Antarctica is the size of 2 United States, bro. We can't live there? Who there? Who over there? Is it really snowy all over there? What happens at the end of the road over there in Antarctica? What if you keep going? Like I said, if you leave Los Angeles and you go to China, you land in China, why not keep straight? You'll end right back up in Los Angeles. If the earth is a globe, you just keep it straight. Why y'all always go back, forth, that take longer?
Do you ever notice Barron doesn't look a lot like his parents? You want to know who he does look like? He just happens to have a very certain resemblance to someone, especially when he was younger. And I don't see that resemblance, but you know who else he looks like? Now, why would that be? Why would this be? I'll tell you why. Because Michael Jackson's kids wouldn't grow up to look like that. They would grow up to look like that. Just like he is growing up to look like that, and clearly came from that. And you might be saying, well, why in the world would Barron look like Diana? Well, why don't we take a look? In an attempt not to upset the very, very kind content moderators, I'm just going to present you some information and let you make up your mind. But before you make up your mind completely, stick around to the end, because I do have a smoking gun. And yes, their features are quite different, but when you switch personalities full-time, a mask doesn't cut it. You need to make some permanent improvements. But cosmetics doesn't change the way you sit, it doesn't change the way you wave, and apparently doesn't even change the way you dress. And did you know that Donald Trump aggressively pursued Diana after her divorce?
From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite.
There she is. This person approached Judy Resnick and attempted to politely engage with her regarding the Challenger shuttlecraft mission.
Hey, Judy? How you doing? I'm from the press. I just had a quick question, if you don't mind.
What press?
From a radio station in San Bernardino. I know there's a conspiracy about the space shuttle. No, I want to be polite.
There she is.
Friendly, just a question.
And there she goes.
So there's a lot of rumors about you being on that space shuttle. Obviously, you know, if you want to comment, we would really appreciate it.
So unlike Michael J. Smith, who ended up basically having a full-fledged conversation with the individual, she just effed right off. Which, depending on your stance, could be evidence for or against. But it tends to lean on the side of eyebrow rising. So here they all are.
Pilot Mike Smith, followed by Krista McAuliffe, teacher in space, Ellison Onizuka, and payload specialist Greg Jarvis.
So one question that's been brought up a lot is that if they did show them entering the space shuttle, how did they get out? Where did they go? Because as you know, when it goes up, They would have to go somewhere, be tucked away somewhere, pretty safe. And here's the answer to that question.
Once the crew are on board, if it looks as if they're in danger, they get out and head down this tube, specially insulated against fire, and zigzagging down not to some point out and away from the rocket, but to an escape room exactly where you'd think it shouldn't be.
3.5 minutes after they get the warning in the capsule, the crew could be down here in the blast escape room via that 200-foot escape tube, 40 feet below the base of the rocket.
Nah, this is about to get crazy. You guys remember how there used to be asylums like for crazy people back in the days? Check this out.
What if the insane asylums from the 1800s weren't built for insane people at all? Think about it. People always say, if there was a reset, wouldn't everyone have known? But what if the people who did know were labeled insane? In the 1800s, all across America and Canada, massive insane asylums started appearing. Huge buildings, massive stone structures, some of the biggest buildings in the entire country at the time. But here's the strange part. Many of these cities were just being founded. So where did all of these insane people come from? And how did they know there would be so many of them that they built entire castle-like complexes to hold them? Look at the Central Lunatic Asylum in Ohio. It looks more like a fortress than a hospital. Look at the Columbia State Hospital. At one point, it was the largest building in the United States. And then there's St. Vincent Hospital in St. Louis. They say it was built in 1 year. 1 year in the 1800s. With that architecture. So you have to ask yourself, were these buildings really made to treat the insane? Or were they made to silence people who remembered a world that no longer existed?
1940s lost weight. The first ultra-processed food was Kellogg's Corn Flakes. They partnered with the United Fruit Company. They paid doctors to tell people bananas were a rich source of potassium, which they're not, and to say that the perfect meal to start your day was a bowl of cornflakes with a slice of banana. That's how the famous combo came about. And they went so far as to put a coupon for a bunch of bananas in every box of Kellogg's Corn Flakes. No human being had a bowl of dry breakfast cereal prior to 1906. Cereal was invented by the Kellogg's brothers, and it was actually these companies that convinced people the healthiest way to start your morning was a bowl of cereal with milk. Also, oats are basically pure sugar. Oatmeal is good for one thing, and that's for fattening horses for the winter. Remember, breakfast is break fast. Lots of human and animal studies have shown the longer you delay eating breakfast, the more ketones and weight loss you will achieve. If you're eventually going to have break fast, look for fat-based sources like an avocado or omega.
This is the eagle on the back of the $1 bill. Or is it? This is definitely an eagle. See his smooth, bald head? Beautiful, majestic eagle with its smooth, bald head. And just one more for good measure. Definitely an eagle, right? But this guy, he has like a weird tuft. A little, or maybe it looks something like this. Or maybe even this. My favorite one of all, though, this. Can you read that? Do you see what it says? I suspect that our eagle friend is actually a phoenix. But I don't know why you'd want to pretend it's something else. A phoenix is a symbol of rebirth, of a new start, which is what America was. So why wouldn't that be the symbol? What is an eagle a symbol for again? I don't really remember.
Let me tell you all about a coincidence, and you all tell me if it's as wild as I think it is. Back in the 90s, when I was in high school, I was an extra on a couple of films, and one in particular was Snake Eyes, a film that starred Nicolas Cage. And do you want to know where I was an extra on that film? At the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Okay? Do you want to know the plot of that movie? It involves an assassination of a politician named Charlie Kirkland. He was shot. The name of the person who shot Charlie Kirkland was named Lincoln Tyler. The tagline for the movie Snake Eyes? Believe everything except your eyes. Does anyone else find that odd. Does anyone else find that odd?
We had a NASA whistleblower that was communicating with me just via email, and I verified, who he was and who he dealt with, and he says that there is at about 72 miles up, it becomes like a thick plasma, then it becomes liquid, I think he said, and then it becomes solid. He says, but NASA, we have the ability to go up there and investigate, but we're forbidden to. When I asked him who forbid him, people in NASA or somebody above NASA, he stopped responding.
How can they stop us?
How can they stop us from what?
How can they stop us? Forbid us?
Well,
they forbid us to do cocaine, but that don't stop us.
Going to space
how do they forbid us to go?
How are you going to go? How are you going to go up there without
build a fucking rocket?
Build a rocket's not that easy. There are some independent people built a rocket called the Go Fast rocket. It was sponsored by Red Bull, and they shot it up in Arizona, and at 72 miles up, it went kerplunk, and it stopped spinning, and it stuck into something, kind of moving like through a viscous medium, and then it fell. And that's one thing, so it hit something. But the other thing was it was over Arizona, and as the camera turned on its side, we could see the black sky and we could see the moon. But the moon was over Australia at that time. So if the Earth was a basketball, that rocket was like a millimeter above the basketball, and the moon was a marble below the basketball. How did it see it?
Well, assuming that is a fact, because with AI, you might have saw a video that was bullshit.
Let's talk about this masterpiece of security theater from the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Watch this absolute clown show. K9 Dog is locked in, nose going absolutely crazy, following Cole Allen through the doorway like he just smelled a fireworks factory mixed with pure incompetence. The dog is screaming, "This dude's the problem!" Bomb-sniffing canines are trained to detect gunpowder, and this good boy hit on it twice. But nah, the handler yanks that good boy away like he's late for brunch. That canine handler straight up robbed that good boy of his moment. The only one in the entire building who actually did their job gets dragged off stage right before the main event. The dog knew. Dogs always know. The institution overruled the dog. And don't even get me started on the timing. Right as this is happening, some agent is fixing the metal detector and distracting the whole team. Right then, the detectors are literally being taken down like they're packing up after a church bake sale. Nobody's paying attention. They're just standing around like it's grandma's house waiting on Sunday dinner. One cop at the top just books it the opposite direction. Full coward sprint. Watch the cop at the top run the other way. Are you telling me that this is the best of the best protecting the president? Really? This isn't a failure. This is Olympic gold in the incompetence Olympics. At some point, failure is too generous. These repeated close calls around Trump don't look random anymore. They look like people in charge who either don't care enough to stop it, or are perfectly comfortable letting the danger get closer every single time. The level of this screw-up is so perfectly choreographed it makes the whole thing feel even more staged. Like if you're gonna script a fake breach for the cameras, at least rehearse so the dog doesn't almost ruin the plot by doing its actual job. They mocked you at first, and they'll mock you again. We need to fire a lot of people here. The only one who performed correctly was the dog.
The movie Juwanna Man was about a male basketball player who entered into the WNBA as a female. And here we are 20 years later talking about we're going to save that for later. It's called predictive programming. When you see something that happened back then that is currently happening now, that means they planned it in advance and years ahead of its time. Right? It ain't by no coincidence. And to prove it's not a coincidence, we're going to get into this gematria. Remember, I will teach you. Brittany equals 42 and Joanna equals 42. So the man who played Joanna Man in the movie, his name was Jamal Jeffries. Jeffries equals 42 and Man, Joanna Man equals 42. Yesterday on December 8th, Brittany Griner was released from the Russian prison. If you add up the 12 plus the 8 plus the 22, it's going to equal 42. Ladies and gentlemen, we call that date numerology. So how do we know that this whole story is BS and manufactured? When she was arrested, it was on February 17th of this year. They let her out on Thursday, December 8th. That is a total of 42 weeks on the nose.
A document showed that Hillary Clinton took exceptional interest in the search for the tomb of Gilgamesh. There is an ongoing conspiracy theory that the real motivation for the invasion of Iraq was to find the tomb of Gilgamesh. Why on earth would Hillary Clinton be interested in Gilgamesh?
Gilgamesh, he was a giant. He was half god, half man. He was on a quest for immortality. I think they really wanted to find his tomb to see if they can do a DNA test.
One of the things that they might have recovered in Iraq was a Stargate.
Saddam was learning how to activate these things. He was getting ready to expose this to the world. His new museum that he had just built with all the information that can prove that there was an ancient advanced civilization and an ancient airport with beings flying and landing here in Iraq. And they were going to expose all of this.
Spaceships.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all, they always tell you right to your face, wake up.
I can wear her skin over mine, her hair over mine, her hands as gloves, her teeth as confetti, her scalp a cap, her sternum my bedazzled cane. We can pose for a photograph. All three of us. Immortalized. You and your perfect girl. I don't know when love became elusive. What I know is no one I know has it.
That audio came out before this video came out. Or this video. Could she be referring to you know who?
I would watch for Barron because here's the thing. There's also another book called Barron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote this book too in the late 1800s, depicting this character.
When they picked those same names.
Yes.
Barron Trump.
Barron Trump. That is a book. Yes. Ingersoll Lockwood wrote both these books. Right?
In the 1800s.
Yes. I believe it was like 1893, 1896, something like that.
Then there has to be time travelers.
Well, here's the thing. In the book, Barron Trump is a time traveler. No bullshit. All this is in the book, you guys. And guess what? So he time travels, right? He has a mentor named Don. This is in the book. So, here's the theory. That Trump actually has some type of time travel technology only because Donald Trump's uncle, John G. Trump, worked for the FBI. Now, when Nikola Tesla died, they sent him in because he's a scientist, he's a physicist, engineer, smart guy. So they're like, hey, go in to Nikola Tesla's, room and decipher all his works and whatnot. Because, Nikola Tesla discovered free energy and a multitude of things, right? So Donald Trump's uncle goes in there and says, we didn't find anything. A bunch of BS. You don't think that Nikola Tesla, who had discovered free energy and manipulated electromagnetism, which had that you can, in theory, bend time, light, and space. This man's works was confiscated by him, and he didn't find anything.
These are celebrities that have died twice. First up, Nelson Mandela. So there are millions of people who believe that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s.
I'm one of those people.
The thing is, he did not die until 2013. But there are people who will argue you up and down the wall that Nelson Mandela died in the 1980s. The second one is Eddie Murphy.
What?
So there are millions and millions of people all over the world who specifically remember Eddie Murphy died in 2013 in a snowboarding accident. And the final one is Michael Jackson. So there's no specific date with this one. Hundreds of millions of people for this one believe that Michael Jackson died somewhere in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, and they remember it playing out exactly how it did when he actually died. So for them, it feels like they relived Michael Jackson's death
two
twice.
times. Oh my God.
It is the craziest thing ever.
I wonder what that is then.
The system wasn't built for you to win. You went to school to memorize facts you never use. You were trained to raise your hand, wait your turn, and follow instructions. Then they told you, get a job, work 40 hours a week, give half of it to tax, retire at 67 if you're lucky. That's not a life. That's a script. And most people don't question it because they're too tired from living it. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. That's when you realize freedom was never going to be handed to you. You have to build it. And that's why I teach digital products, because ownership is the only way out. No boss, no begging, no clocking. You move different when you know the system was never designed to serve you. It was designed to use you. Break the script or stay stuck in it.
Why are the scientists getting on TikTok telling us that they're not suicidal and stuff like that? Come on now. You know we not finna do shit. If I find out you passed away today and 20 minutes after you posted that video, what am I gonna do? Go to the authorities? They said the president on it. You just need to tell us what y'all found. Like, y'all dying, they picking y'all off. You don't want to snitch? They done killed your colleagues, your friends, your besties, your college friends, and you don't want to snitch? See, y'all in that lack of community shit. That's the problem. Y'all getting on TikTok thinking we finna do something. I ain't finna. What the fuck I'm gonna do? I don't even know what the fuck y'all studying. If you told us what it was, maybe we would do something. But if you don't tell us, we just gonna sit there and worry with you. And I'm gonna be like, this is really not my problem. I'm about to scroll. That's usually what I do when y'all start stressing me out on this app. I'm just gonna scroll. So when y'all decide to grow up hair, y'all let me know. And y'all tell us, because I ain't gonna tell them. You ain't get me killed. I'm just letting you know this is stupid. Because what we gonna do if you die? Now, if we all the information, why would they kill you? If 7 billion people know what's going on, why would they kill you? What's prevalent about you? You know what I'm saying?